Hello, my dear colleagues. Lovely to see you again. Today we carry on with our topic Basics of Accounting, and this time we're going to chat about the main tasks of accounting and the role of an accountant. Basically, what we actually do at work, what our job is all about, and also how this looks in Britain. So, let's start from the very beginning. The whole point of accounting is to make sure things are clear and accurate, because only then can a business meet its main goals. You've heard me say this before. Without proper records, nothing really works. Now, what are these goals then? The first one, and the most ancient one, is simply keeping an eye on property. If you think about it, accounting began ages ago as a way to track possessions. Pharaohs, rich landowners, slave owners. They didn't owe explanations to anyone, but they still needed to know how much they had. 50 pots, 100 slaves, 1,000 acres of land, that was their accounting. So yes, it was primitive, but the idea hasn't changed at all. Even today, the core function is the same. The owner must always know what they have. Of course, nowadays, everything's a lot more complicated. In production especially, we use standards for material usage. Let's say you're making chocolate or cheese, you need a recipe, don't you? Those standards are just like recipes. They help us plan ahead, calculate the cost of production, and set the right prices. And later, we can compare. How much did we plan to use and how much did we actually use? When accounting is done properly, the owner can quickly spot where losses are happening, change the strategy, cut out waste, and improve the business. And all of that, you guessed it, is thanks to us, accountants. The second important job is protecting property. Accounting makes sure that a company's assets are really there and used correctly. Why? Because with good primary documents, we can see exactly what was used, when and how. And if someone tries something dodgy, proper records will quickly reveal it. Another thing about accounting, and this is really key, is that it never starts from some random date. It runs from the very first moment the company is registered until the very last day when it's closed down, and everything is shown in totals, step by step. So on any given date, if you look at the accounts, you can see how much stock there is, how many debts exist, how much profit the company has made, how much capital has been invested, and so on. See? You can't just say, right, let's start fresh from today. It doesn't work like that. Imagine if you wiped all your records clean at the start of the year and decided to begin from scratch. You'd already have stock, equipment, debts. All of that must still be counted. Otherwise, nonsense happens. For instance, you sell goods but they don't exist in your books anymore. Suddenly you've got negative stock. And you can't sell something that doesn't exist, right? The same thing with debts. If you repay your creditor but in your records you had zero, then it looks as if you've actually lent them money and now they owe you. Completely upside down. And that's why accounting must always be continuous. From day one until the very end. If you interrupt it, you get distorted results, and then you can't make the right management decisions. So, what do we actually do as accountants? Well, we record how much the company earns, how much it spends, and whether the result is profit or loss. We also keep track of what the company owns, its assets, and where those assets came from, which are called liabilities. Think of assets as all the good stuff: stock, equipment, money in the bank, cash in the till, even debts owed to you. That's also an asset, because it's potential benefit. But here's the thing. Everything you own must have come from somewhere, and that's where liabilities come in. Let's say you buy a fridge at home with your own money. That fridge is your asset, and the source is your own funds, your capital. Now imagine you buy a washing machine on credit. You still have the machine, so your assets have gone up, but the source is borrowed money. So liabilities can be either your own money or someone else's. If it's someone else's, of course, you'll need to pay it back. And this is why accounting always looks not just at what you own, but also at where it came from and what debts exist. At the end of the day, the accountant shows how much the business owes others and how much others owe the business. And that helps the owner see the full picture. What's coming in, what's going out, and don't forget about taxes. The accountant works out the profit, calculates the tax, makes sure it's paid, and informs the owner of the amount. Yes, a lot of responsibility lies here. So what's a business transaction then? It's any event that has an effect on the company's wallet. If it can be measured in money, it has to go into the accounts. That's it. Now let's talk about how this looks in Britain. Here, accountants mainly analyze documents, check reports, and prepare financial and tax returns. What they usually don't do is create invoices for customers. If a self-employed accountant did that, it could even break the rules of their license. That's why most accounting software here lets business owners themselves raise invoices and input bills. These documents then go into the system, and the accountant's job is to check them, make sure there are no risks, and then record them properly. Apart from that, accountants here process data, calculate profits and losses, produce turnovers, and prepare year-end reports. And one thing you need to know about Britain is that accountants are very specialized. If you're a payroll accountant, you only do payroll. If you deal with VAT, then you only look after VAT. Some work only with self-employed people and their tax returns. Others deal only with corporation tax. So yes, everyone has their own narrow focus here. All right, let's practice with a little exercise. Remember, in accounting, we only record what affects the company's wallet. So, if the company sells a computer, of course we record it. Paying wages also goes in. Money leaves, expenses rise. Making tea? No, that doesn't affect the company's money. Buying new property? Yes, we record that. Paying a fine for pollution? Yes, that too. Taking a bank loan? Absolutely. Money has come in. Using electricity? Yes, it's an expense and a debt to the supplier. Talking about social impact? No, that can't be measured in money. And obligations from contracts? Yes, they must be recorded because they affect future finances. Done. Now, for homework, we're going to compare accounting with your own life. Think about events that happen to you personally. Do they affect your business activities or not? Decide if they would need to be recorded. And in the next lesson, we'll check together. And here's a star task for you. This one's trickier. You see, it's easy to talk in technical terms with someone who knows accounting. But can you explain it to someone who has no clue about it? That's the real test. In practice, this is super important. Whenever I train new staff, the first thing I teach them is to speak to clients in plain language. Forget the jargon, use everyday words. So, your challenge is to explain to your child or your partner or your mum or dad or your granny why accounting is important, how it affects a business, and what events we record. Have a chat, let them question you, and try to answer. This is exactly the kind of skill you'll need in real life. Because as accountants, we don't just deal with numbers, we deal with people. And you have to explain things clearly and simply. This is especially true here in Britain. If you've ever been on Gov UK, you'll see everything is written in plain English, with examples anyone can understand. That's the standard here, and it's what clients expect too. So if you want to work here, you'll need to master this plain style. And yes, you can even record your explanation on video or audio and send it to me. That would be brilliant. It's very important for me to hear how you explain things. That way I can understand how well you've learned the material and how you communicate it. I can give you feedback, maybe adjust the lectures a bit, guide you further. So, do your homework. And I'll see you in the next lesson. Take care and see you soon.